Yo, welcome back yet again. My name is Seba, and me and my friend Jesus co-host the Business Kids podcast. Today is yet another episode in our Canadian Business School series. So the goal of this is for you high school students who are still deciding on where you want to go. So we want to give you an honest review of the program and some honest information from actual students, not just pamphlets. So today we're going to be discussing and answering your questions about the Ted Rogers School of Management at Ryerson University with our two special guests, Ian and Stacy. So to start off, why don't you introduce yourself, your program, the admission average, and some extracurriculars that you did to get in.
Hi, I'm Stacy. I'm in my second year of marketing in Ted Rogers School of Management, and I'm majoring in marketing and minoring in professional communication. My average of admission that I got in with was a 90%. Some of the extracurriculars that I did was sports teams in high school. I did the Best Buddies program, and I had over 200 volunteer hours, and I received my admission about January 2019.
Okay, yeah, my name is Eon, and I go to Ryerson for business management, and I am majoring in global management studies right now. It's my second year, and the average that I got into Ryerson with is an 87 in high school, of course, and I got in Ryerson around probably March, April, around then in grade 12. So yeah.
I guess the first question that most people had, obviously you've kind of answered already, but I guess expand on that. You're majoring in global studies, and Stacey, you're majoring in marketing. What other, I guess, specializations can you choose from in this program?
Well, you can choose from, I think, 6 or 7. So there's also HR. You could do that. You could also do accounting. You could do entrepreneurship is another choice you could possibly do. Of course, marketing, global management, and then might be forgetting the other two.
Yes, it's finance and real estate is the other one that you could do.
Oh, real estate. Mm-hmm. Damn, that's kind of sick.
Is your program math heavy? Like if you were bad at math in high school, are you screwed?
I wouldn't say necessarily you're screwed. It is somewhat math heavy. Like there's a lot of math courses, but it's nothing like, oh, if you weren't great in math in high school or whatever, it's not like you can't achieve a good grade in university. It's like they help you build it up easily, and then it's like obviously like some knowledge from high school helps, makes it much easier. But like if you don't understand anything or whatever going into it, it's not the end of the world. You can figure it out.
Yeah, so I can second that. I think that the program in marketing specifically is not is math heavy in some circumstances, but throughout high school I did academic math. So I didn't take AP, and I still did fine. Still got in with a high average. And although Ryerson does, like for specific business management programs, you have to take required courses. So although I'm in marketing, I still had to take accounting, finance, economics, and some other courses, which could count as being math heavy.
All right. On that line of difficulty, what would you say is the degree of difficulty of your program? Like how many hours a week do you have to put into this?
Well, I think for me, it varies personally. I think like depending on if there's exams or it's like heavy on assignments, some weeks are much higher than others, but some weeks I have a little lighter, so I could put less hours in. But like on average, I don't know, like a logical number, like something put in like right away, like just an average number. But I feel like it hits you really quickly. That's the number one thing. Like once you start a semester, you're gonna be like, oh, I just started, maybe I don't have that much work, and then boom, right away, like a couple of days in, you're like, oh God, I have like 4 assignments due next week. Like this is insane. So it's kind of just like knowing your workload. I feel like if you are consistent with working every day, it's not that many hours, but if you kind of loafed a little bit or whatever, it might be a little more hard on you for sure.
Yeah, the difficulty I would say is probably a medium difficulty, and like a couple hours a day to accumulate to about 25, 20, 35, 30 hours a week. But obviously, it depends on if you have like exams or assignments or quizzes or something like that that you need to study for a little bit more time. So organization is definitely key.
So I guess just put in the work and you should be fine type of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess moving away from academics now more into like jobs and things like that.
Other than co-op, is there any kind of services that your program gives you for like career development or any kind of thing along that line?
I can start off with that one. So I know that co-op is pretty big. Like I was doing some research because I'm hoping to get into co-op for the following year. And I saw companies like Bell, Celestica, IBM, Microsoft, Sick Kids, and TD Bank were some of the co-op positions. But also Ted Rogers and Ryerson have like again, I was looking at some of the resources that they have, and they have career centers, research program centers, career development centers, and career boost programs.
Mm-hmm.
And this can all, like I was saying, this can all be found if you do a quick Google search. It's all there and laid out for you and some of the requirements.
I guess now that we've touched upon like the more kind of studious types of aspects of Ted Rogers, we can kind of shift away from that to like the culture itself of the school. Knowing that you guys are both second year, so you did get to experience at least a little bit of like that social aspect of the school before COVID. What's your take on that? Do you think it's more like a party school, or is it just like, more of like academics related? What's your take on that?
You want to start off there?
Sure. Okay. I think Ryerson is kind of like in between both because you're also downtown Toronto. So it's like there's so much to do. Like there's plenty of clubs, bars, whatever you can go to. So it's in between, like you can go have fun and party at night, but at the same time, it's like obviously a pretty good school to go to because it's not like I wouldn't say it's too heavy on academics to the point where you're just like not being able to go outside and socialize with other people. But it's also like not too easy. So you have to put the work in. You have to do everything to succeed in it. But party and social life was definitely well, first year, it's a little different because you're not of legal age. So it's a little harder to like party and all that unless you're going to like a house party or something. But like from what I've done, it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of good things to do.
Yeah, and I could say the same. I mean, the academics are pretty high, and then usually people have a say on the party life and the social life, depending on sometimes if you live in residence, which I don't. I commute to Ryerson, so sometimes they have a different opinion on how the party life is or how it goes in that sense. But yeah, overall, it's a balance between the two, and downtown Toronto has many things to offer.
What's like one place that, say you're on campus for whatever reason, what's like one place that someone should be able to visit if they get the chance,
Like party wise, would you say, or just like in general?
Party wise, or just like to socialize, I don't know, grab a drink or something like that.
I think the SLC is where most people go to the Student Learning Center, which is called the SLC for Ryerson students. Mm-hmm. So probably most people go to like relax and hang out. I don't know necessarily for drinks or not, but I'm sure you could probably get some drinks there or whatever. But there's just like, I don't know, since it's downtown Toronto, there's so many options. I wouldn't say there's like one set place you could go to because you have plenty of options. You may want to switch every week or so, right? So it could be like one day I'm going to go hang out at the Student Learning Center. One day I'm going to go out to the bar with my friend, right? So it's just kind of like, it varies. It depends like on your mood. There's so many options. So I wouldn't say there's one set place exactly for a Ryerson student to go.
Yeah, a really great place is the Eden Center is right downtown. So that's a great casual hangout spot to do some studying, to get a snack, to get a meal in between classes. And we also sometimes the theater is open. There's like a Yonge and Dundas Square cinema or theater that's right downtown, and that's also a great place to hang out.
Mm-hmm. That's so lucky, bro. We don't have shit.
Yeah, we just gotta like live on camp. Like, there's nothing to do. You just either get to
Bro,
like
we
that.
have one restaurant.
We have that one bubble tea place.
Yeah.
Like one place, and that's it.
But in a way, it's probably it could feel good for you guys because Ryerson's so open that it's not only all Ryerson students there, right? Like, so you see a lot of like people who don't go to Ryerson there. So it doesn't give you like that full-on university experience that most people think you're gonna get.
Yeah.
So like maybe your university in like Schulich or whatever, York, it's more closed in, I'd say. So everywhere you go, mostly around, you'll see some students rather than some day job worker or some random people. You know what I mean? So it kind of gives you more of that university experience. That's what I would say. So,
I guess that's a good segue into our next question. Now that you're saying like it's open to the public, how safe is like campus itself? You know, because like I guess it's open to everybody type of thing. What's your take on that?
I think most places are safe. I think there's one building that's a little
Sketch.
iffy. There's a lot of dangerous people. I don't know if I would say dangerous, but a lot of weird people over there that like they sometimes recommend you not to go through the back door because it could be dangerous. So it's probably the Victoria building, I'd say, is probably the most dangerous out of the Ryerson buildings. And but other than that, like the school is like pretty safe. It's downtown. Like you never know what's going to happen anyway, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's dangerous in any way, but there definitely is. It's probably more dangerous than any other university. That's what I would say, because most universities are closed in with just students. But like here, like, you can literally run into anyone. So yeah, I'd probably say it's a little more dangerous, but not dangerous. That's for sure.
Yeah, dangerous just by virtue of being like open to
Exactly.
this downtown stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, but there, the one thing I know about, which I previously knew about, is that like if you have like a night class downtown and you're like at a building or far away from your parked car or your residence, there is, I believe, a like a Ryerson security guard or a nighttime security that can help and walk you to your car if you're feeling unsafe at the time.
All right. On a slight change of topic, right now, you know, we talked about partying and stuff, which obviously right now is socially irresponsible because of COVID and everything. So how would you say that your university has adapted to COVID? Like, is it particularly good or did they do a bad job?
Honestly, I think Ryerson's done a pretty good job with making it online, but in general, online just sucks. Like, it's so boring. Like, you kind of don't get any experience whatsoever. It's like you're at home all day. The motivation is very lacking. Like, when you're at home, there's so many distractions, but when you're at school, it's like you're at school, you're in class. Like, there's not much you can do. So it's kind of also, it's like I can engage much easier with my teacher when I'm like paying attention to them, like in person, when I actually see what they're saying, that like how they're, you know, just how they're speaking and stuff. But online is like, oh, my phone's right next to me and my teacher will never know if I go on my phone. I'm just going to go on my phone right now. Right? Or I'm going to go get some food, make some food right now. It's just like, there's so many distractions with it. So it's really annoying, but Ryerson itself has done a good job. Like, I haven't had any problems with online school yet, as of right now, I would say.
That's very true. The Ryerson has done a pretty good job. Like, there are some classes that are pre-recorded and some classes that are live on Zoom, but definitely you miss the interaction. You miss the student interaction plus the professor interaction, where if you're in a math class or so and so forth and they're writing an equation on the board, you kind of miss that sense of being there and being able to physically ask a question instead of, let's say, typing it in the chat.
Yeah, I guess we all miss that human touch, you know? That, like...
Yeah. Bro, who the fuck are you touching in class? Like, looking at your experience so far, what would you say is your favorite part of the program?
You can start because I'm trying to think about it.
Sure. Sure. My favorite part of the program is the amount of options. I think that although a lot of the majors have different options for electives and different options for courses that you could take, I think specifically for marketing, there's social media marketing, there's sports marketing, and in like different aspects and branches that you can branch off from. So I think that the amount of options and the plentiful opportunities that you could grab are great.
Yeah, honestly, I think that's definitely a big thing for it. Like options, you have plenty of different options. Also, I would probably say just the fact that like you have something to rely on, like co-op. So if you like, that could just be a huge decision maker for you, especially if you're in high school or whatever, and you're trying to figure out what university to go to. Kind of gives you like, oh, this university has like a co-op program that's like pretty good, or this university doesn't offer co-op, so maybe I'd lean toward this university. So I think having some like co-op or even going like abroad for school, which is like something that you can also do in Ryerson, which is like pretty cool for me, which is what I kind of like. It gives you kind of different options of what you want to do.
I guess to flip it on its head, that same question, what's one thing that you've experienced so far that you say is like your least favorite part about the program, you know?
Again, I'm probably going to say like just the fact that it's so open. Like, I don't know about the program itself, but like the school itself is just so open. It's like you can just see so many different people that you kind of just like, I personally want more of that university experience, that I just want to be able to see like only students, so I could like talk to new people. So because it's kind of harder to talk to people nowadays, because like you're always traveling from class to class. When you're traveling from class to class, you're not seeing like other students, you're seeing the people, right? So I think that's the biggest part of it.
For me, program-wise would be the mandatory courses. I think that a lot of the majors have, like, although I'm really passionate about marketing, that in first and second year, you have to take finance courses and accounting courses that I wasn't so familiar with coming from high school. So that was a really big change for me. Although I can then specify to marketing come the second to third year, I still had mandatory economics and other courses that maybe wasn't of my interest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess like, you know, if you want to do what you want to do, like you don't want to deal with all these other things that, you know, don't interest you. That's true. And I guess to wrap things up and more of like a heartfelt note, say you were to do it all over again, you walk into class that first day as a first year and you bump into yourself now. What's like one piece of advice that you would give yourself? Knowing what you know, experience what you've experienced, type of thing.
Okay, so the biggest factor for me was organization. I think that having a Google Planner, a Google Calendar, a desk like writing station, something where you can organize your time, organize your assignments, because it does come heavy. I mean, it's a little bit of a change from high school, and you'll start to see that the courses are coming like a little bit faster, and you're getting a little bit more of a workload. So having your stuff organized, although I would have loved to have a little bit more structure in my schedule where I was able to plan accordingly.
You know, she had that ready. Like when I asked the question, she was like, her face lit up. She was like, all right, I'm going to hit the
Yes, I knew that one was a great question. I think that that's a really important question to express to someone.
Honestly, like for me, obviously the school-wise, yeah, organization and all that is really good. But for me, I think the two lessons I learned most is stay positive and stay patient. Because like when you first go into university, it's such a big change. For me, like I had a terrible first month. Like personally, like my first month, I was like, what the hell am I doing? Like, this is so bad. I don't want to go to the school. I don't want to be here. I don't want to go to class every day downtown, like taking the subway, taking the train. So it was like brutal for me. Like I had a terrible first month, considering I also wasn't legal. So I couldn't go outside and party and all this stuff. So I was pretty pissed off about that. But again, like it was like a terrible first month for me. So it took like a long time for me to realize that, hey, like this happens, it's going to get better. And like, it did get better. Like as the months went on, like I actually started to enjoy the school more. So what I would tell myself is honestly just like, probably just, if you're going in there, like don't go in with a bad mindset. Cause if you do, it's going to just get worse for you. It's just going to get way worse. And if you're not patient about what's going to happen, you're just going to hate it even more. So there's really no point. Like, if you're patient about it and you're positive, you go in with a positive mindset, you're going to come out and be like, oh, this is actually not bad. And like, for us, like, we just started university. We're second year students. We haven't even experienced anything yet. Half our university experience has been COVID. Like, we've been doing online shit for the whole, I don't know if I could swear, but for the whole year. So
Go for it.
I can swear. Okay. Yeah. So we've been doing online shit for the fucking whole year. Right. So it's been pretty brutal. It's been pretty brutal, but, so like, obviously there's still so much to see. Like, obviously there's points where if you ever get sick of universities, you can always like travel to see maybe other friends at other universities. So like, you always have like a scapegoat. You can always go anywhere you want. Like, it's just like, be patient, because it will get better. Honestly, it will get better. And if it doesn't, then maybe it's time to rethink something, right? And just stay positive, because like, honestly, like, if you go in with a negative attitude for anything, it's not going to go out well. Like that's the number one thing I've probably learned myself personally.
I guess, yeah, on that note.
Thank you guys for coming on and giving your takes on the program.
No worries. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
For the listeners, this is part of our 7-episode series about Canadian business programs. So if you guys want to learn more about some other schools, maybe you're making a decision for where to go for university, be sure to check those out for more info and more takes on the programs.
And if you're interested in learning more about the world of business, maybe getting some life advice or just career advice, or just checking out and listening to stories from really cool people, check out our podcast. We're on Instagram and Spotify and everywhere else, wherever you get your podcast, at the Business Kids Podcast. Thank you, and have a good day.